Well, hopefully we're live. Let's have a look. Let us know, guys, if you can see anything in the chat. Pretty impromptu tonight, guys. Just thought I'd jump on here. Should be quick. It should only be on for a few minutes. Let's have a look. Make sure we are live. I'll wait for a few people to get in. How's everybody doing? And I'll tell everybody in a minute the reason we're coming on. Yeah, thank you very much. Thomas, we are live. Too Smooth in the house. School Lady Boy. I love AOC. Yep, we are live. Oh, Engin's live too, is he? Shit, I wouldn't have come on if I'd have known Engin was live right now. To be honest, I didn't know Engin was live. That's a shame, actually. Didn't know that. I wouldn't have clashed with Engin if I'd known. But it shouldn't take long anyway. I'm only nipping on for a little while. How's everybody doing? We'll let a few people drift in and see how we go on. 2 days out from Christmas, but it doesn't feel like it, does it? Just incidentally, guys, let us know in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Just due to the fact that I'm not using my mic tonight because I'm out and about, hence I've got the generic background on. Let's have a look. Hopefully it's coming through clear. Lean Machine Arm Wrestling, Tom Holland in the house. How you doing, Tom? Congratulations, mate, on your engagement. Saw that the other day online. Fantastic. Good for you, pal. Yeah, congratulations to you and your lady. And I know you got a big match coming up soon in January, Arm Gods. Should be quality. I love AOC, Devon and Arm Wars when? Who knows? I mean, we'd love to have Sandris and Devon match going in March. Iron House 2, you can see in the background there. we got Iron House 2 getting ready to go, or Iron House 3, I should say. Tell I got no sleep last night, can't you? Yeah, Iron House 3 is ready to go on March 20, probably 23rd to 28th, I think. That's off the top of my head, so I'd need to check it out. But yeah, 23rd to 28th of March is likely when we're going to go live. And just to give you, when I say live, we are going to go live. We're going to have live and we're going to have also recorded matches. So yeah, Lean Machine Arm Wrestling, Tommy Holland, put those dates in your diary, mate. 23rd to 28th of March is likely to be when we go out with the next Arm Wars, which is Iron House 3. Let's have a look who we've got in here. Ryan Boussier, Master Pronator, Sergeant Tank, OMG, and Connor Sale in there, another guy who's got a match coming up against Andrew Cobra Rhodes very soon. Neil, will you be attending East versus West in Jan? I will, mate, yeah. I will be there. I've actually got a ridiculous schedule of stuff going on in January, truth be known. I'm doing, got a lot of strongman stuff. I've got some fight stuff, some strongman stuff going on. Got Giants Live, Britain's Strongest Man. The original date of East versus West had to be changed so I could attend, actually. Engin changed that. He approached me to see if I could come. I said I couldn't because of the Strongman Arena show commitments. And he said, oh, I'll change the date. And he did. So, yeah, I'll be over at East versus West. Master Jack and Luis Espinoza. What's up, guys? Hope you're both well. Will you ever compete again, Neil? Master Jack? You know what, mate? Probably, yeah. I would love to compete again at some point. Right now, I've no desire to compete. Right now, my sons are at an age. Everybody always sort of comes up with their own ideas of why I don't compete. The biggest reason right now why I'm not competing is my right wrist is completely shagged, if I'm honest. Damaged my right wrist quite badly. I've got some kind of nerve damage just where my thumb joins my wrist, and it's really bad. And that's been a major problem for me. Not just for arm wrestling. I can't train with it, do anything with it. And it's a problem. It's nerve damage of some description, and it sort of switches my hand off. Even doing basic things, brushing my teeth, picking up a glass, anything. I can be doing simple stuff, working out in the garden, mowing the lawn, and my wrist will just give me an absolute shooting pain, like I'm plugged into the mains. So that's a problem. And that's one of the reason why I'm not competing right now, because I can't train for the sport. And if you don't train for arm wrestling, you're not going to be good at it. And I don't want to go in there and just damage myself and rip myself up. But the main reason that I'm not competing or pursuing competing in arm wrestling is my boys, because my sons are both sport billies. They both love competing in their own sports. And I've had my time as an athlete, as a competitor. I won some, I lost some, but I had a good run at it. I did that for sort of 30 plus years. And right now it's my boys' time. And as their dad, the best thing I can do for my boys is to give them the opportunity to go out and pursue their sporting careers, aspirations. And I'm definitely going to do that. I'm still 100% committed to arm wrestling, but it's a young man's game. Everybody's got the time. I feel like my time I enjoyed, but I'm never going to go out and pursue it 100 miles an hour until my boys are men and they're able to do their own thing. While they're boys, I'm going to be their dad. That's what I'm going to do. My dad did that for me, so I feel like that's my responsibility. Mika and Geordie Chocolate, Thunder Williams, ECEC, guys, how are you doing? Brad Butler, big supporter of the channel. Atlantis, IRL, all in the chat as well. Great to see you guys. The reason I dropped on tonight, guys, was literally just to thank guys like you, lads like you, who tune into the channel week in, week out, support the channel week in, week out. And I just wanted to say a massive thank you. Wish you all the very best for Christmas, the best to you and your families, and say a big thanks for all the support you've shown the channel throughout the year. I hope you've enjoyed some of the content we do, and I hope you enjoy the Arm Wars series as well. If anybody's in the chat that isn't a member over on Arm Wars or subbed over on Arm Wars, you need to get over there, check it out, guys. That's where all of the effort is going in from myself and James Stafford. What else we got in? Oh, she said, Merry Christmas, Neil. Terrific job with your endeavours. Best to you and yours. Thanks, mate. Performance enhancing pancakes is in here as well. Preacher arm wrestling. Hope you're all good, guys. So we got going to be a few weeks without arm wrestling, really, apart from the big event over in Chechnya, which is that on Christmas Day? Might even be on. It's on like either 24th or 25th of December, and there's some top guns, big guns going out in that one. So that should be very interesting. Zhao's in there, I think. A few of the big guns, actually. I know Feridos Manley's going over there. I think all the usual suspects, all the top Eastern European pullers are going to be in there. So that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Who else have we got in here? Nicholas Acerenza. Merry Christmas, Neil. Best wishes from Uruguay. Mate, great to see a Uruguayan in here. Hope the sport's going well in Uruguay, mate. Thanks for tuning in, Nicholas. Hope you're good. Too Smooth, thanks for making the best product out there. Appreciate it, mate. We're trying very hard. We got a lot of new concepts coming in 2023. Promise we won't let you down. There's going to be a huge amount of effort going into the members of the Arm Wars channel. That from Jan on, the members of the Arm Wars channel are going to get value for money. Let's just say that we got some new concepts coming and stuff coming. A lot of people don't know that we have an enormous amount of Arm Wars films, footage that nobody ever saw from the archive. So from my old channel, the Arm Wars archive, if you've never seen that, I'm sure many of you have seen that. If you're hardcore arm wrestling fans, you probably have seen the archive. It's where all the matches that I used to do on Eurosport, Sky Sports, ESPN are all over on that channel. The Travis Bagent versus Devon Larratt match, Michael Todd, Acid Rain, all the big cards were done on there. We got better than that coming on the new Arm Wars channel. Going to be for members only, that really. From the lowest tier up, we're going to sort of put that out. But they'll get a lot of value for money next year from January on, because we're going to do some incredible stuff on there. There's a lot of stuff that we have, older stuff that nobody ever saw. We have 2 cards, entire cards featuring some of the best guys in the world that were shot for the Eurosport and ESPN stuff. Nobody's ever seen. My last ever competitive Arm Wars, the last time that I ever competed in arm wrestling, at Arm Wars Redline, nobody's ever seen that. They've never seen the match. I pulled the then 90 kilo European champion, Darius Analauskas. And that's never been seen. Nobody's seen those matches, so they'll be coming out for the members. Let's have a look what else we've got here. I'll try and address as many of these as I can. Geordie Chocolate Thunder Williams, mate. Geordie will be in Arm Wars in 2023. March 23rd to 28th, Mika will be involved there as well. We'll have another series of top guys coming over for that. And funnily enough, myself and James Statham went the other night to look at the venue. Holy hell, what a place. It is absolutely ridiculous. Neil, will we see WAL again? WAL is still bubbling. It's still boiling, mate. It's not gone away. Now and again, I hear from Steve Kaplan. Great bloke, Steve Kaplan, as well. Really is. You know what, guys? I went to the dentist this afternoon, and Jesus, he's jacked my tooth up. Really sore. Really, really sore. Hopefully that's not scrap for Christmas. 87 Snow Rider, how you doing, brother? It's been a rough 4 months for me. I appreciate all the work you do. It keeps me motivated to stay busy. 87 Snow Rider, I'm sorry to hear that, mate. I really am. I'm sorry to hear you've had a bad few months, mate. Stick with it. Keep walking forward. Hopefully it all comes around for you, mate. Really sorry to hear you've had a rough time, and thanks for tuning in. Let's have a look. The Sambaras, chess arm wrestling legit sounds good. Geordie Chocolate Thunder, the archives is where it all started, folks. Yeah, it's where a lot of the matches that went out, so all the stuff that we did, Eurosport, Sky, ESPN, all of those, they're all on there. They're either on there in full or they're cut up into sort of their disparate elements. Let's have a look. Young boy is on here. Hey Neil, hope you're having a great Christmas. It's a little cold here in New Zealand. Oh, mate, it's great to have all you. You know what I love? Having you guys from all over the world tuning in and checking out the shows. It's fantastic. So what have you lot been thinking about Arm Wars? You all check out the Arm Wars films? Have you checked those out this year? We're going to be, let us know in the chat if you're fans of, watch the new Arm Wars films that James Statham and myself make. Loads more of those coming. You have no idea. I wish I could tell you a lot of the stuff that's coming. All I can tell you is in 2023, some of the stuff we're doing will blow your fucking heads off. Some amazing stuff coming out, there really is. Let's have a look. Try and catch up on the chat a little bit. OMG, why is Bart, the referee from WL, no longer invited to events? You know what? I don't know whether he is. Bart may still be active. Geordie may be able, Geordie or Mika may be able to put some light on that. I don't know whether Bart's been active, is still active in the USA at the moment or not. Really don't know. But Bart Wood, great dude. And yeah, Bart and Jen, I haven't seen for a while on the circuit, but that doesn't mean that they're not active. There's so many events going on right now in the US and so on. Just a ton of events going on all the time. So it's quite possible that I'm just not seeing them. Yeah, let's have a look. Brad Butler, what an hombre. Brad, you're a top dude, mate. Supporting the stuff all the time. Really like it. Too Smooth. I watch Arm Wars every day. Fantastic, mate. The Arm Wrestling Show. Give me an introduction of this channel. I want to use your voice. Performance Enhancing Pancakes. Great channel there as well. But Performance Enhancing Pancakes does some great stuff. I'm a big fan. Love the Arm Wars films. I watch those while training all the time. Thanks, mate. That's good. Good feedback. I like to hear what you guys think about those. Arm Wrestling Show, the best channel, is what it wants me to say. So Arm Wrestling Show is the best channel. You go, mate. Hopefully you can clip that. Let's have a look. CEO at Aldi. Amazing. Bart competed at an event a few months ago. Devon showed up, wanted to ref him. Amazing. Karaoke Vic is in the chat. Good to see you doing a live stream. You know what, mate? I just literally got back from work. I've worked today. And I wanted to, funny enough, I was actually in Aldi not long back doing a check in Aldi, amazingly enough. And the CEO is actually in the chat, which is quite good. Yeah, I wasn't going to come on here, and then I thought, you know what, I just want to drop in because I'm conscious we're not doing the fix on Sunday night. I wanted to just drop in and thank everybody for all the support. Just have a chat with you guys and chill out for a little bit. Hope you've all got plans for Christmas, and your families are all. It's a great time of year, Christmas, all of it. The only downside about it is that we're stopping arm wrestling competitions for a couple of weeks. Arm wrestling, Daff, mate, Daff, how are you doing? I know you've been speaking to my boy James Statham, and thank you for supporting James the other day over at the Arm God show. Looking forward to meeting you, Daff, at the Arm Wars events this year. I think you're going to be coming over and doing some stuff with us in March, as I understand it, at the Iron House 3. So it'll be great to catch up with you there, mate, if not before. PEP, I agree. Missed that one, mate, so I'll have to get back to that. Let's have a look. Neil, you going to go back to doing interviews again at some point? Yes, mate, I'm definitely going to do that. We're going to do more of that as well for the members on the Arm Wars channel. We'll be catching up with some people and doing the deep inside the minds of scenario over there and over here. I might even start with memberships. That's something I wanted to ask you guys. Would you guys like memberships on this channel on Supernatural Strength? And I'd do some maybe trainings with people, things like that. Share some little tips and suggestions and insight into technique of arm wrestling, methodology, strategy, that kind of stuff, which I could do for members. I wouldn't do multiple layered members. I'd probably just do like a couple of layers on there. Neil, when are we going to see big card super matches again in the US? In the US, I don't know. Whether or not I'll come to the US is, for Arm Wars, that is, debatable. The reason being because it's just a cost of doing the show over there. I mean, funnily enough, I did quite a lot of Arm Wars events in the US. We came to Vegas a few times. I'd love to do something in Vegas again. I love Vegas. I love the States. I love the US. I'd love to do that. But whether or not we will, I don't know, because I want to concentrate on all of the money. We don't make money at the moment from Arm Wars. Obviously, the amount of the effort that we're putting into producing the thing, that's where all the money's going, just to make the thing the very best quality we can. Hopefully, it starts to facilitate us getting back into big matches. But in order to do that, we need the support of the viewers, wider viewership. We are very much catering. Arm Wars is not East versus West. It's not King of the Table. It's a totally different concept. We're looking for a platform to sell the sport out to the non-arm wrestling wider community as well. That's really where we're aiming for. So a lot of people ask me about the whole scenario with Arm Wars. It's almost, we've changed the dynamic of it completely. It used to be very much like what you're seeing now from East versus West. We had the best matches in the world, and it was all about that. It was all about trying to get the biggest, most important matches. The concept of Arm Wars has always been to try to mix things up. It was very much, as I've said for the last 20 years, it was about a balance between having the very best guys in the world and guys that nobody knew. Devon Larratt, when I first brought him into Arm Wars, nobody knew him. They hadn't a clue. He was just some kid from Canada who I thought had a lot of potential. Where are we now? Michael Todd, same situation. Wasn't a big name back then. Brought him over. We started to do stuff in Arm Wars, and Michael made him a name for himself. Frodo Hoagland the same. Jeff Hale the same. Nanastad, Armelins, all these guys really got the start there. That's where they kicked off. And look at Ray Lipinge this last 18 months. Has he improved since he's been pulling in Arm Wars? What fucking hell. And we got some mainstays in Arm Wars, guys that maybe aren't the very, very best in the world, but in terms of the best of men, Jesus Christ, they are definitely that. Frodo Hoagland, Maynard Nentjes, I'd rather watch these guys. Maynard Nentjes is one of the most entertaining arm wrestlers in the world and one of the coolest individuals I've ever met in my life. That's an acid individual. But we're never going to deviate from the concept that I started out. I want to showcase the very best in the world alongside the guys who just love doing this thing. If you're a very, very good arm wrestler, if you love what you do, there's a spot for you in Arm Wars. We've always done that. We try and mix up the talent, domestic guys and internationals. We want to show the best of the UK. We want to show the best of the US, of Canada, of Australia, and we're trying to drip feed these people in so you can see them. The main idea of that is that you get to meet the character, you get to meet the man, the woman, you get to meet these people, and gives you the opportunity to identify with them. The concept really is that if you know the arm wrestler, if you know their character a little bit more in depth, then you want to watch them. I've always been a big fan of combat sports, and I always used to like watching fighters that I identified with, guys that I knew a little bit about. And that is the concept behind Arm Wars. We're going to introduce you to these guys more and more and let you see more and more about them. We want you to know who Tom Holland is, who Flora Hoagland is, who Manik Nentjes is, all of these guys. James Wall, new UK lad with a huge amount of potential. We're trying to introduce you to these lads and let you know who they are. We got the Savage search that just came out. Dustin Hyatt, you haven't seen yet, but he's coming in the next few matches. Kieran Morrison, you're going to see more of Kieran. One guy that we've just introduced into the series, Philip Ritz, is amazing. And I know that Philip Ritz is going to go on to big things. He's going to be a star. Let's have a look. I'm going to try and look at the chat again and see what we got. Adnan, thank you very much, mates. But hi, Neil. Love the efforts you're always putting in. Thank you, mate. Really appreciate it. And all the best to you and your crew. Let's have a look. Yeah, Daft, seeing your response there, mate. Be good to catch up with you, brother. And have a cracking Christmas. Performing Anderson Pancakes, thanks so much. Means a lot coming from you. Mate, meant every word of it. Love some of the stuff you do. I try and tune in when I get a minute, try and tune in and support as many channels as I can. It's bloody hard. So much stuff out there. I'm going to try and get on a few of the new channels, the puppy channels that are out there emerging over the Christmas period. I'm also going on the Morning BJ as well soon with a bit of luck. I'm looking forward to that with Brandon Allen. Big fan of Brandon Allen. And yeah, Mr. Latona. So I'm going to get on there and have some fun with the guys. I'd like to get out there actually to Vegas again. I haven't been out to Vegas for a while. Spiritual home, Vegas. Fight capital of the world. Love it. Auburn. Neil, I got an arm wrestling table and a pulley system this Christmas. What lifts are a must in your opinion? To be honest, mate, I would always say that the best lifts are emulating arm wrestling. The nearest you can get to the motion and the reality of arm wrestling in any innovative way you can, the nearer you can get, the better. This is what I meant with the sort of stuff, the membership stuff that we're going to do and a bit more here on Arm Wars, is to try to get people more information about how you should train for arm wrestling. I see a lot of guys out there doing bicep curls and Christ knows what. Sure, that's good for enhancement, but the best thing to do really is to try and stay as close to the mechanic of arm wrestling itself. The nearer you can get to that, to emulating that in all of your movements, the better you're going to be. The nearer you can get to emulating the match. Neil, who's your favorite arm wrestler of all time? That would be my sister, Elaine. In terms of the, and I'm biased as frig, but it is. She came out of nowhere, didn't train, popped up, won the ladies' championship of the world. I mean, she was beating girls like Heidi Anderson, girls like Marlene Kleinsmith. Unbelievable competitors. And Elaine managed to beat these people with no training. She never trained for arm wrestling. I mean, that's ridiculous. She did it, and then she just gave up, just retired. Said, done that. Arm wrestling completed when she won like the national, European, and world championship titles. Ridiculous. In terms of guys that I'm huge fan of, there are so many. I mean, I literally could sit for hours and tell you about the various individuals that I rate highly. Amongst the people that I rate the highest, obviously John goes without saying. He's the best of all time. Simple as that. Just an arm wrestling master. Svetlana Gashevsky is another incredible arm wrestler. Technical genius. Not the most physically gifted in the world by any stretch of the imagination. If you look at Svetan and the way that the guy's built, he belies his strength. Doesn't look an incredible arm wrestler, yet is. Got incredible insight, strategic insight, really cerebral puller, magnificent arm wrestler. Yes. Engin Terzi is not to be underestimated. Unbelievable arm wrestler. Great at what he does. Been there, I mean, the record alone tells you how good that guy is. One of my original heroes in the sport was Andrew Cobra Rhodes. When I first was a young man, kid in arm wrestling, and saw, I'm going back to 1988, 1987. From sort of 1987 through to the early 90s, watching Cobra, who was without question the first international superstar arm wrestler. Without question. Cobra was the first guy that came from North America and went out, Ticklickhoff's killing me, went out into Europe and arm wrestled everywhere against everyone and punched so far above his weight. This was a guy that would pull multiple classes, and the way that he arm wrestled with swag, with bravado, with extreme confidence. I mean, you know, he was more full of himself than a Russian doll, and he'd go out there and pull anyone, and pull with style. Real abbreviation to his pulling. It was amazing. Watching him do what he did, watching him slap people about at a time when there wasn't that kind of technical prowess. He was an originator. He was a torchbearer, and at his best, he was incredible. Karaoke Vic's just saying AMC tournament is on Christmas Day. Yeah, I thought it was. I can't say I'll be watching it, to be honest, but I will be watching it after the fact. Bulls Deep Hook. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, mate. Also, let's have a look here. I don't know how it is around the world, but everybody in England at the moment is frigging full of a cold. And when you go and do meetings in the day with people and everybody's got a cold, and I'm picking up frigging cold virus all over the place, people coughing and spluttering the whole country. I don't think I've been to a meeting in the last few weeks where half the room isn't full of a cold, and you end up with tickly coughs and shit going around everywhere. It's crazy. Going back to arm wrestlers that I love, in answer to Lewis's question, a lot of guys that people wouldn't know. Gennady Fadzinov, who was an incredible arm wrestler. And maybe I do a series of shows where I break some of these down. I'd love to sort of sit Engin down and we can just go through this. So many guys that are underrated. You've no idea, guys. And a lot of this stuff, a lot of these people weren't documented. You would, I'm trying to think if there's anywhere you'd really be able to go and track down a lot of footage of someone like Gennady Fadzinov, Lorenzo Villar, Jaime Jose Saint-Germain. You know, these guys are great arm wrestlers. Pascal Girard, great arm wrestler. Torch-bearing arm wrestler from his country, Pascal. One of my closest friends in the game for so many years. Love that dude. Andreas Rundstrom. Holy Christ. Andreas Rundstrom? Mate, what an animal. What an animal that kid was. Absolutely unbelievable. Delusional blue monster. Brother, thank you. Hope you're good. Dustin Hyatt is a young stud, says Brad Butler. Yes, he is. And you're going to see him go to work very soon in Arm Wars. And mate, well, I'm not going to ruin it. Just watch that. He did so well. The Savage Search really did deliver. We had tremendous performances from the guys that found on the Savage Search. Really did. They came over, they punched above their weight, they did amazing. And I expect nothing less from Mika, who I'm super excited to get Mika over to pull in the Super Series. Jody Williams. How can you not love Jody Williams? Jody Williams is the lad loves arm wrestling. He throws himself into arm wrestling like never. Dude's been calling me out for friggin' ever. Maybe he'll get his wish. We'll see. But he's coming over pulling Uncle John Thompson, left-handed. So that'll be good. Everybody's calling me out at the moment as well. I had the message there. Why is Paul Maiden calling you out? I don't know. Probably because he knows I'm retired, not training. It's a good move, isn't it? I'll call out the guy that ain't training. No, Paul just be looking for a match. He probably thinks that there's a lot of eyeballs attached to it. I would think you'd have to ask Paul. Let's have a look. What else we got in here? Trick Attack. It's that. He's put, "What's up, Neil? Never stop fighting the good fight. We're all behind you with courage and strength, mate." Thanks, brother. I will continue to keep doing my best. I know that arm wrestling's in a good place at the moment. It's growing. The momentum's gathering. Without shadow of a doubt, the momentum's gathering, right? It's funny, when you're walking around the place. I went out into Manchester a couple of weekends ago. I was in Manchester. I was walking through the Trafford Centre doing a bit of shopping, and I got stopped maybe, I want to say 5 or 6 times in the day. That was great. Just people wanting to chat about arm wrestling. Hey Neil, want to chat about this? Want to talk about it? It was cool. It was good, that people are out there and they're seeing the sport and they're following it. Let's have a look here. Yeah. Some of this stuff, great. My wife's boyfriend. Yeah. Devil Ripper, Neil, can Engin join the cup? Of course he can. Why does Engin want to join? If Engin wants to join, he can join. Yeah, 100% he can. I didn't, like I say, guys, I didn't know Engin was on. I wouldn't have actually come on if I had known that Engin was on. I wouldn't have come on. I didn't know he was live. I didn't check. I should have checked, but I didn't. I literally walked in the door. I had like a little bit of time to kill, and I wanted to just jump on here quickly and say thanks to everybody really for tuning in. I wanted to give people a little bit of a heads up around what we're doing with Arm Wars, the March card, and the timings on that to give people an idea, an indication of where we're at and what's coming down the tracks, because it's going to be a hell of a start for 2023. Let's have a look. Franksy180. Nearly always enjoyed watching Joseph LeVay in the original Arm Wars. Is he still active? You know what? Yeah, he's still active. I don't know what his level is right now or where he's at. I don't. The only reason for that is, hang on a minute, he pulled with I want to say he pulled a bit with Ryan Bowen, when Ryan was coming over to Arm Wars Iron House 2, I think he went to visit the club that Joseph LeVay trains at, and they pulled a little bit. Where Joseph's level is right now, I don't know, but Joseph, really, really strong lad. Very strong, very powerful for his weight. No doubt about that. Nicholas, let's have a look. Neil, where can I learn about the word pissing in the snow? Don't have snow here to practice. Only beach and sand. Hey, beach and sand, and do it, mate. Devon's all about that. Let's have a look. Yeah, Don, I've just seen Engin's got his own live going again, mate. Didn't know that. Let's have a look. Good young boy, just yeah. Getting back to him there. Season's greeting from Eddie Dunn. Loving the shows, Neil. Mate, thank you. Thanks for tuning in, checking them out. Going back to Lewis's question earlier as well. Marcio Barboza, guy I absolutely love. Jerry Caderet, guy I absolutely love. So many. I mean, I can't even tell you. Devon Lara, obviously love him. Michael Todd. These guys are my friends for 20 plus years. And so many of the Russian lads. I've got massive respect for somebody like Yevgeny Prudnik. What a brilliant arm wrestler that guy is. Super well-rounded. Let's have a look who we got now. Doug Ehrlich is in the chat. Doug, got a big match coming up with Rolly Ray. I want to say it kicks off the East versus West 6. I'm pretty sure it's one of the earlier matches on there, and that should be a great match. Doug's strong as frig. Really powerful lad. And everybody knows Ray is as well, so that's going to be a hell of a battle right there. Let's have a look. David Marr, you're right, Neil. He did pull Bowen. That's right, he did, didn't he? They pulled, was it Americ's club? I know he went out there and pulled a little bit with quite a few of the French lads. And they got some really good lads over there. Americ Pradim's good Good, powerful puller. 44% stronger. Neil, I have an arm wrestling question. If I always lose my wrist while pulling, should I strengthen my wrist or learn to pull without the wrist, or both? Okay, the first thing I would, again, this is going back to what I'd like to do. If we do a membership on here, this is the kind of stuff I'm going to go into. The first thing you want to analyze on that, mate, is you want to break down your physicality. So if you look at how you are built, how you're designed, and the style in which you arm wrestle, you want to then pay attention to the grip. So how you are taking your grip. Some guys look to try and fill their hand. Some guys look to try and make their hand larger, longer, and positioned more fully. Within that whole spectrum of possibility lies the answer to making your wrist instantly stronger. If I could spend 20 minutes on the table, I'd find that out in like 2 minutes, and then you'd start to work from there. But I can break that kind of stuff down. So again, let me know, guys, if you want me to start doing little bits of things like that. I might start a membership on here, and we can start doing a little bit now and again. But yeah, strengthening your wrist is always great, but a lot of guys may have powerful wrists, may have strong hands, but don't know how to use them. It's kind of like having a car with a massive engine but tiny tires, and as soon as you boot the power down, the wheels spin and all the power goes into the ether. And so many times I've pulled with guys that they don't know how to use what they've got. Got the weapons, but they don't know how to use it. And sometimes the guys with the most power are the guys that either don't pay attention to the technical prowess, or they're the guys that people maroon. They don't show them. They leave them out in the cold. Here we go. OMG, Neil, what's your prediction for Jerry versus Georgie match in the upcoming East versus West? George is very, very powerful, massive dude, very big, very heavy, very experienced. And if you look at George's career, he's got some incredible wins. The same can be said of Jerry Caderet. I'm going to go with Jerry. I feel like Jerry I'd like it if it was a longer scenario. So if there was a 6-round format, I think the longer the match goes, the more it favors Jerry. George is dangerous early, as always. That the size and the experience, these are things that he's used to doing. He's used to having arm wrestled against really big men, and he's never faced anyone like Jerry. The reason for that is there's no one really like Jerry. He's a very hard guy to emulate. A very difficult guy to emulate. Let's have a look what we've got in here. But I'll go with Jerry Caderet, but I think that'll be a great match. If Georgie won, I wouldn't be surprised. Georgie's a beast. Megatron, hiya, buddy. He's put, hey, Neil, after Monster Michael Todd loses his next match, it's East versus West. Would you have a rematch with Michael? You have a good chance of beating him. Certainly a better chance on the bloody left arm than I have on the right, mate. I'll tell you that, because my right wrist is completely ruined. My left, I really don't know. I haven't tried arm wrestling on my left for years. But my left wrist is fine. Michael's left arm isn't his arm. It's not my arm either. Neither myself or Mike have ever been left-handers. Funnily enough, one of our most difficult... I pulled with Michael many, many times, but one of our most difficult matches was on our left arms. Funnily enough, we were in a battleground, 4-man battleground in Mallorca on the beach. We met in the final. Michael's arm ended up getting badly damaged in that match. Scared me more than him. Thought his arm was going to break. Made me take my foot off the gas, actually. But myself and Mike pulled many, many times. People don't know, they think we met once. Myself and Mike met many times on both arms. Right and left. Aussie arm wrestler Jake Ward in the chat. Jake, hope you and Jess and your little lass are good. Neil, you sweet son of a gun. Cheers for an awesome year of Arm Wars, the fix, and actually meeting you in. You know what, mate? We didn't meet properly, which is kind of a bastard, because I was on my ass, you were on your ass. You'd just flown like around the world in the worst of circumstances, lost all your luggage. I felt really bad for you. I wanted to put you in a hotel, actually, Jake, if I'm perfectly honest, mate, and take you across and buy you some clothes and stuff. I really did. I know I said that on the night and you played it down because you're you, but I really, looking back, that should have happened. Should have just taken you over, stuck you in that hotel, let you get a shower cleaned up. I could have gone and got you some clothes. Kitted you out, mate. 44% stronger. No worries, brother. Thank you. Yeah, hope you're good, Jake. If you're not sub to Aussie's channel, get over there and support Jake. This is how the lad makes his living. It's great to have lads like Jake out there trying to push the sport forward. Character in the game, and hopefully he continues to get some success from it. Let's have a look here. Is WAL coming back in 2023? Who knows? We don't know, but I do know that WL is not dead, and I hope it does come back. I love WL. Brilliant thing. I can only tell you positive things about my experience with WL. Steve Kaplan, in my experience, Steve Kaplan was nothing but straight. The guy was arrow straight, an absolute pleasure to deal with. I've nothing but positive feedback for him. Wonderful dude. Really, really like Steve Kaplan. I've got enormous amount of time for the lad. If Steve Kaplan is ever doing anything, I'm 100% behind the guy, and I'll back him to the hill. Very straight guy, extremely astute guy. Yeah, the best of men. Love Steve Kaplan. And the WL, great times. I enjoyed that so much. Some of the best matches I've ever seen, ever been involved with, some of the best cards. Tremendous quality. Brilliant stuff. Richard Jennings, Merry Christmas, everyone. Merry Christmas to you, Richard. Hope you're good. David Marr, ready bang. He's in there just giving Jake a bit of a shout out. Hey, Jake, you going live tonight, mate? Let us know. I'll give you a plug if you are. 44% stronger. Neil, I'd like to know your opinion on my favourite match in the upcoming East versus West. Oh, yeah, Petrenko Muratov, bloody hell. That is a fascinating one, isn't it? Because we've just seen, obviously, Muratov with an unbelievable performance at the WAF. Petrenko, I felt really sorry for him after the John match. Lovely lad, Petrenko. Such a nice kid. Really good dude. And my God, he was in shape for that. He was in such incredible condition for the match with John. John's John. And I said before the match, actually, me and Engin discussed it. Engin said, "Oh, who do you think?" And Engin actually had Petrenko winning. He said, "Who do you think is going to win?" And I said, "I think John's going to win at a counter. I think he'll win with ease. I think stylistically that Oleg suits him, and styles make matches." And I think Engin thought I was smoking the hard stuff. I think he thought I was a nutter. But yeah, it turned out that way. Petrenko and Muratov is fascinating. Muratov's so quick to find his spot. He's very efficient. Doesn't need to move as quick in terms of the lightning flash pins, but he finds his position very early, and that makes him super dangerous. That's how he wins his matches. I think in terms of top-end strength, Petrenko is probably the stronger lad. Muratov's got that great ability to find his groove quick. And for me, it's a fascinating match. I would see it probably, I would say quite tight, but I'm going to say early. Muratov's got a great opportunity. If the match stops with Petrenko in any kind of closed wrist position, I think Ola will take the match from a closed wrist position. Muratov's got to take him out of the game early, try and capitalize on that hand and wrist. And he's got the ability to do that. It's just run the gauntlet for a little while. Let's have a look. Neil, do you think Hermes Gasparini has a chance with Levan? Hermes is pushing very, very hard, and he's a great arm wrestler. Hermes is from arm wrestling family. I know his dad very well, actually. Used to arm wrestle with his dad when Hermes was a baby, literally. Yeah, Massimo, what an hombre. And if you'd ever met Hermes' dad, great dude, real proper throwback. A bit like a blacksmith, big, thick, solid hands, real beast. And he was a solid arm wrestler. Didn't have a backward step in him. Really proud warrior. Hermes has come up through that same, you can see he's walked that same path, and it's very much made the guy in some ways. You can see the way he arm wrestles. He's very much, he carries the spirit of his dad into every match with him. And that's quite an interesting scenario to watch him pull now. I quite enjoy watching Hermes, I got to say. I think that he has great potential, and I was super impressed with him. When he pulled this last show at East versus West, he shocked me, actually. The manner in which he dealt with Dave was not something I expected. So for him to do what he did, to arm wrestlers proficiently as he did, and to finish some of the matches in the way that he did was dramatic and really impressive. I think he has as good a chance as anyone of doing something with Levan. I want to say that I believe that Levan right now is in a different place to everybody else. And I also am of the opinion that Levan has more in the tank when he's fit and ready than we know. I think Levan is a sleeper in terms of he's got a lot more technical ability than he's yet shown. And I really expect that we'll see that. Possibly we'll see more of that when he arm wrestles with Hermes. Hermes has one acid weapon. His speed and wrist give him an acid weapon. They give him an ability to hold the height in the match better than most. And if they can maintain that through half of the downward arc and get the brakes on, he's really dangerous. I'm just not sure he's going to have enough top-end strength to do that with someone like Levan, because Levan is so powerful. And he's so used to pulling guys who attack him in that manner. I think we've got the mighty Sandra Sheris in the chat. What an arm wrestler, Sam. The heavyweight champion of Arm Wars in the mother fluffing hell. So proud of Sandra Sheris. I am so proud of it. Sandra Sheris is everything good about arm wrestling. He's brave. He can pull anywhere. He doesn't mind pulling anywhere. He's no bravado. He reminds me a lot of John Brzenk in that he likes to pull and to genuinely test himself in arm wrestling matches, to extend himself. I love arm wrestlers that do that. And yeah, the MF Chef, the mother fluffing chef, MF Chef, Sandris MF Chef, Sheris in the house. Keep watching it. Big 2023, I feel, for Sandris Sheris. Big 23. I think he's going to smack a lot of people around. But he's got, like I say, he's got that style around him. It reminds me a lot of Devon Larratt. That he's going out and he's trying to get the head nod. He's trying to test himself. Reminds me a lot of John Brzenk in that manner. The way that he's going out and looking for it. OMG, thanks for your super chat, mate. Much appreciated. How often do I need to work out my arm a week? Depends on you, mate. Depends on the individual. Some guys get a great deal of benefit and merit from training very regularly. If you can train without detriment, if you can train without damage to your arm, I'll give you an example. There was a time when I was pulling so frequently. I wasn't married at that time. I didn't have any kids that I knew of. Joking. And I pulled at least twice a week, maybe 3 times a week. And I would train another 3 times a week. Never really got much pain, never got any aggravation from it. Maybe it's left me a few lasting bits of things, you know what I mean? But never really got much pain or aggravation from it. Once I got through that seasoning situation and my arm was solid, never gave me any problems. And I think if you're able to do that, if you're able to get out there and compete really regularly, it definitely helps. Iron sharpens iron. So, you know, the guys I was talking about earlier on, a lot of those lads got to that level of expertise through arm wrestling with great frequency, you know. They were arm wrestling high-level competitors, high-level athletes very regularly. And if you're seeing a lot of styles, you're seeing a lot of shapes, you're seeing guys who pull in different ways, you're only going to get better. The biggest thing about the sport is, particularly for the new guys coming in, don't fear a loss. Don't fear an ass whipping. Ass whippings will come. Arm wrestling is not like a lot of sports where you need to be concerned about getting your ass handed to you. Everybody gets their ass handed, and I mean everybody gets their ass handed to them in arm wrestling. It'll come for Levan. Levan's been down that road. He's had his ass handed to him, got back up, got back on the horse. Right now, he's the one giving the ass whippings. But what goes around, As I say, that's what I respect about guys like Sanders, who he's got the reputation that he's building. He's world champion. He's WF champion of the world right now. He's arm wars champion of the world right now. And yet he doesn't give a there's no airs and graces. He'll arm wrestle anyone. That mother wrestled the devil in straps. Couldn't care less. Love him. Ace. And get out there and get amongst it. If you can arm wrestle regularly and it's not giving you detriment to your arm, do it. Get amongst it. Arm wrestle as safe as you can. Don't be arm wrestling beyond your elastic limits. You don't want to be arm wrestling all stretched out in terrible positions. Try and keep form. Try and listen to your own body. People are built differently. People arm wrestling different ways. One of the best scenarios you can have is to mix up your training so that you're arm wrestling against guys of differing levels, guys who you can deal with relatively comfortably, and guys who you can't. Get out, travel, get to the places where those people are and take them on. A lot of people have said, would I ever come back to arm wrestling? If I came back to arm wrestling after the sort of 8 years out I've had, I'd expect to come back rusty and dusty as hell. Not to mention that I'm coming up 50 years old and knackered. I would just expect to come back in with a lot of rust and dust on. So I'd look to go out there and take some ass whippings, get as many ass whippings as I could, get amongst it and get whipped. And slowly over time, my level would start to climb again. It would start to increase again, and I'd get amongst it and start to win a few. But I do expect that if I got back in the mix, I'd get leathered for a little while. That's how it works. You come back in, you get battered, you get better, a little bit better, a little bit better. You might start off with a bit of power, but it'll soon wear off if you're not arm wrestling regularly. Let's have a look. Hansi, Neil, how many girlfriends did you have before your wife? None, mate. Only my missus. Nobody else. Ever. Only got eyes for one woman. Let's have a look. Now I got the finest woman in the world. She's Ace. She my baby mama. She's a fox. What do we got here? Sandris, who has Michael won against to earn a right to pull for the title anyway? Sounds like Sandris and Michael Todd are getting on each other's tits a little bit, maybe. I know Michael hasn't responded, but there's a nice little build going there. When is that match confirmed for? Anyway, is that actually a confirmed match? Is that East versus West 7? Mean Machine Arm Wrestling takes guts to get on stage in front of people. Yeah, it does. Absolutely does. I remember that time when I worked as a stripper in the North Pole. God, that memory stays with me. Is Alex Kadecha super heavyweight champ of Arm Wars? Yes, he is. Alex Kadecha is the current super heavyweight champion of Arm Wars, correct. He won the vacant title, the title which used to be held by No Limits, Devon Larratt. He was formerly the super heavyweight Arm Wars champion. Heavyweight champion was Monster Michael Todd. I wonder if we'll ever see Michael Todd come back and try and earn that title back. I know he's going for 100 first place, isn't he, in 2023, Mike? White Wolf in the mother fluffing house. Mate, thank you for your super chat. What's up, Neil? What's your biggest hope for 2023 in arm wrestling? Lots going on with Arm Wars, East versus West, King of the Table, We the North, Arm Gods, etc. The Devon documentary might be coming out at exactly the right time. Mainstream might be ready. You never do know, mate. I was saying earlier in the show, the main wish for arm wrestling would be growth, continued growth. And yeah, if it can continue on that trajectory, if it can continue to grow, it's only tiny at the moment, arm wrestling. It really is. But, you know, the UFC at one time was tiny. Strongman, which is, you know, I've been very involved with the sort of growth of strongman. Remarkable. And who knows? Maybe arm wrestling can do the same. I'd love to see WL come back into the mix as well. Another big force in North America, punching the sport forward into the sort of general consciousness, and all these promotions rising and continuing to do well. I think it can only be good. The more arm wrestling that's out there, and the more people are seeing it, the more people are getting interested in it, practicing it, can only be a good thing. So, yeah, continued growth is the key. I'm a bit sick, if I'm honest, about the split in IFA and WAF. That's a massive shame. It really is. You know, really is a massive shame that that's been the case. It's very frustrating, particularly for a lot of guys that, you know, if you're a grassroots puller, you want to come up and be known as world champion. Anytime that gets watered down is infuriating. And more so now, back in the previous splits, when the sport had divided before at any time, and it was never as severe as this. The thing was that you could attend both events. You could literally, I mean, I used to just go to both. It's just another competition. You'd go and pull in both tournaments. Both were called World Arm Wrestling Federation as well. And you had a World Arm Sport Federation. It's bullshit. You used to just split off. You'd go and pull in both tournaments. And the funny thing was, the guys that were winning were always the same guys at both events. It's ridiculous, really, but there it is. Used to go and pull all over the world. Now, you can't do that. The IFA, if you go pull IFA, then you're disenfranchised by the WF, and vice versa. Not great at all. Let's have a look. Nice to see me absolutely knackered wrist is in the chat, mate. There you go. There's me MRI right there. Correct position of the damage as well. Absolute quality. Engin's forehead taco is in there. Where's Sasho? A light heavyweight champion of Arm Wars. Is he still pulling? I know he damaged his pec when he pulled RVJ in Arm Wars. He was telling us after the match, but he pulled the WF. Sasho's beast. Z's guitar account. Thanks for your super chat, mates. But all those countries trophies John won over the years, he should have given them to Monster Michael Todd. Yeah, he don't mind a trophy, does Michael? I got that trophy at home. I got that medal at home. He loves them. He does not mind a trophy. Old MMT. Great words there from Scoop. Remember, your own worst enemy is always yourself. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to not talk yourself out of competition. The right level of competition, the right type of competition. If you're hungry to compete, get in there. Don't fear an arse whipping. Get in the mix. If you're fit to do it. Only if you. On the other hand, is if you're genuinely knackered, if you've got real damage, stay out of there. I think that was one of my problems. I competed too much when I was hurt. And with the greatest of respect to some of the guys in the game, one thing I didn't do ever was the gear. I never juiced. There are some advantages of that for healing and recovering from damage. I didn't want to go down that route for other reasons, my own personal reasons, and I didn't do. But it does make a difference. It's it's a problem when you get badly injured if you keep pulling on injuries, particularly when you're young and stupid. I used to you'd pull like hell, get damaged in a match. I think pulling up to the super heavyweight division when I was like 80 kilos, a lot. I wanted, obviously, you'd go abroad and try and win various classes, particularly prize money shows, big shows. I'd try and win many classes. I did that. Cobra did that. Engin did that. Andreas did that. We'd all go up classes as well. So you pull multiple classes. Back then in the day, you used to do the Champion of Champions as well, the Open. I'm not sure that was a great idea. If I had my time over again, I wouldn't actually bullshit. I wouldn't change a goddamn thing. But what I would say is that there can be times when you're your own worst enemy going into matches when you know you're damaged. I used to sort of take a couple of ibuprofen and crack on, and that wasn't a great idea. Sometimes you do yourself damage. Let's have a look. Ryan Rutherford, thank you for your super chat, mates. But hey, Neil, I'm mates with Connor Sale. Great dude, Connor. Good up and coming puller, Connor Sale. Love some of the Scottish lads, and Connor's one of them. As I say, got a big match coming up with Cobra. So Ryan said, Connor's killing it at the moment. What's your opinion on his match versus Cobra Rhodes? And is he on your radar for Arm Wars? Yeah, he's absolutely been on my radar for Arm Wars for a while, although I don't think he wants in Arm Wars. He said the other day that he had no other promotion in his sights other than Arm Gods, and he's pulling there. So I don't want to tread on Arm Gods' toes with one of their pullers. So Connor's absolutely on our radar. I'm not going to pursue Connor and try and piss off the Arm Gods crew. He's pulling with them. Good on him. Let's have a look. But Connor's match with Cobra Rhodes. Okay, you got two guys who are very, very much opposing personalities and styles. Connor Sale is a guy who favors the inside techniques. He's relatively versatile, but he favors the inside techniques. He gravitates towards a hook, which is where he pulls at his strongest. Not a particularly heavily built puller structurally, but he's slow burn developed a level of ability, and it's nice to see that after the graft and the effort he's put in, he's getting some meaningful results. Cobra Rhodes, at almost 60 years old, is not the man he was, and therefore I would say that Connor starts as a favourite. He should. He's a young man. His time's now. Connor, if he's confident, has the ability to go in there and try and make a little bit of a highlight reel for himself. Cobra is not Cobra now. He's an old man. He's like me. He's old and knackered. But sometimes old men can bite you back. So Connor needs to be on his guard. If I was Andrew, I would go in to use my experience in the match. I wouldn't go in there and try and mix it up physically and put pride on the line or any of that nonsense. I don't think Cobra needs to do that at all. He's got nothing to prove, less so than 99% of arm wrestlers that have ever put their elbow on a pad. I've seen Cobra do things he's no right to do many, many times. The guy is genuinely one of the greatest arm wrestlers of all time, without question. Friggin' monster. And if I was Cobra, I would go in, I would box the puncher. I would go in there and try to use the experience and the technical prowess he has to beat Connor. And that would be no disrespect to Connor if he got out arm wrestled against a man with that level of ability and experience. I do think Andrew's got an opportunity to win the match. I favour Connor for a lot of reasons. Connor's a young man. He's no injuries. He's buzzing. He's chasing. He's pushing hard. His time is right now. And he should win the arm wrestling match. I hate to see Cobra lose, period. It's almost, what's the right word? It's almost, it's testing to see Cobra sometimes in that situation, because he's the guy I know, but he's not the guy I know. You know what I mean? Cobra Rhodes in his time was cut from a very different cloth. He was an incredibly lethal finishing arm wrestler, real torchbearer. Megatron, thanks for your super chat, mate. But hey, Neil, would I be able to get an Arm War shirt with Megatron written on the back? Mate, I'm sure we can sort something out. PM me, mate, and I'll see what's possible. We'll see what we can do. What I am going to do is we're going to do more stuff like that for the members on the Arm Wars channel. We're going to do stuff that's a bit unique, giveaways and stuff like that, and maybe there's an opportunity in there. Let's have a look. Oh, Connor's actually in the chat. He's put, I'll pull anywhere and everywhere, Neil. No worries, mate. Yeah. You know what? It's ace to see you lot all chatting away as well. Fantastic. It's almost like a little bit of a community feel in the chat, you know. It's quality. Not my monkeys, not my circus. There's one of the guys. Also, I wanted to just say a big thank you to Not My Monkeys has been a massive um, follower of the channel, supporter of the channel, commenter on the channel since day dot, since I got the thing started. Can't thank you enough, mate. What a tremendous bloke. Really, really want to acknowledge that. Guys like that, awesome. Absolutely underpinning stuff, you know. And Not My Monkeys, hats off, dude. Tremendous guy. Thank you for all the chat. That's what I came on here tonight really to thank all you guys because here you all are, just hanging out, chilling. I wish I had more time at a lot of the shows that I do, every type of show, I'm always working on the show, so I don't really get to knock about with the lads, and I do miss that massively. One of the things I like at the Iron House is now and again I get a chance to just chill out with the lads a little bit for maybe 20 minutes here and there, you know, in between working and stuff, and that's I love that. My favorite thing about the sport is that, I'm honest. And when I do the big gigs, don't get a chance to do it at East versus West, working pretty much throughout, and that was difficult, you know, because it's you want to get amongst it with the lads and just talk about stuff and chill out, and I do miss a great deal of that. It's difficult, and I miss that part of the game a great deal. At the moment, all your time and endeavour and effort is put into trying to push things forward, and there's never a stop. There's never an off switch. You're constantly pushing forward and trying to do different things and push the sport forward, do different concepts. As I say, a lot of the stuff we're doing with Arm Wars will come clear in the first quarter of 2023. We've got big plans in that respect. The Iron House 3, I think, is going to be a frigging phenomenal show. We're taking a little step back to something we discovered. We found a diamond, we polished it, and then we dropped it, and we should never have done that. So I'm going back to that look. Everybody was involved with the original Iron House. That was a special entity. We lost away a little bit in Iron House 2 in terms of trying to do too much and extend too far. I think a lot of promotions do that, and I don't want to be guilty of doing it again. So we're going to get back to doing something, and we've got other concepts coming which are pretty special too. Yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Keep your eyes peeled for that. Just old Joe is just coming with a super chat, just popping in to say Merry Christmas. Can't stay, but best wishes to you, Neil, and everybody in the chat, mate. Thank you. Cheers, brother. Hope you and your family are good, and I hope you have a cracking Christmas and New Year. Thanks for taking the time to check in, and thanks for the super chat. Hope you've been enjoying the content this year. Loads more to come. 2023. I mean, you only have to look at January. If I wasn't working the Saturday night, I'd like to go over to the Arm Gods gig and give those guys some support. Unfortunately, the reason I wasn't going to East versus West is because my diary is just ridiculous. So I start 2023, and from the very first weekend, I've got a fight show the first weekend. I've got another arena show the second weekend, the weekend of Arm Gods. I'm straight out to East versus West on the Wednesday of that week, and then I'm back and I've got the Giants Live Arena show that weekend. So it's just mobbed, just no rest whatsoever. You're just on it non-stop. So yeah, and then we've got King of the Table coming in Feb. I can't remember what else is coming in Feb, and then obviously March for us, we got the Arm Wars Iron House 3 popping up there. And as I say, so many of the guys that I'm looking forward to there. Sam Burnett from Australia is coming over for that as well. I'd love to get Jordan Davis back over as well. I love Jordan Davis. What a top puller that is. What a great bloke that is. Jordan, if you see this, if you're picking this up, let me know. If you want in, you're in. Simple as that. I would like to get Justin Bishop over as well. There's one of the guys that I love in the sport. Justin Bishop's just an hombre. What a dude that is. I love Justin, and I'd like to see Justin get back in the mix in Super Series. He's so strong and got such a smart lad, underrated arm wrestler. I loved the match with Justin Bishop and Moriarty. Mindaugas, everybody knows. In your current crop of arm wrestlers, Mindaugas Teresatis is another of my favorite arm wrestlers. I think he's a magnificent puller. He's a very intelligent, cerebral puller. He does exactly what he does so well. His ability to manipulate all of the outside techniques is world class. Genuinely magnificent puller. He does it great. And I love watching him arm wrestle and seeing him and Justin. That match, a lot of the matches actually played out exactly as I thought they would. But that, as much as any, it just went to the script. How I saw it in my mind, it played out exactly like that. It was a sniper versus a sniper. And it was excellent to watch. It was one of those matches that it's not as visceral as some of the stuff. Everybody likes that match where it just bang, it turns inside and, you know, the veins are coming out of people's necks. But there's an art to top rolling, to world-class top rolling, to the manipulation of your opponent's hand and wrist, and to lethal finishing. And I respect that as well. And Mindaugas and Justin are great at that, as is Giannis the Jedi Amelins. And, you know, I would love to be in a position to get Justin over as quickly as we could as well. White Wolf, mate, what an hombre. White Wolf, another dude, like Not the Monkeys. White Wolf's one of those guys that deserves, I wanted to give a special mention to as well. So many of you over here. Phil Woody UK's in here, and he's another one. You know, when I look at the chat, Lagia, another one. These guys are just, they're hardcore. They're in here all the time, they're supporting the channel. I see them on other channels. Sometimes I'm in the car, I can't comment on things, but I'm seeing these guys just back in the sport. White Wolf's another one. What a top class guy. Read your comment there, White Wolf. Mega, thank you very much, mate. Appreciate your support. Appreciate your support of the channel throughout. And it's great to see the involvement of these guys. Let's have a look here. Frank say 180. What's Spearman Burgoyne doing at the moment apart from boozing? I've not seen him mentioned anywhere recently. I'm pretty sure Evan is very prominent right now. I think he's pulling in the Arm Gods gig. I think Evan's going to be pulling there against Paul Maiden. I'm pretty sure. Dan Lou, Neil also seems like he can talk while reading. I don't know. I'm trying my best, mate. But yeah, I'm just trying to, I don't want to miss so many people's comments if I can help it. There's so many though, it's difficult to see them all and to answer them all. Let's have a look. No, I'm just got here. Hold on, not my monkeys. Just put Neil as a green screen. Just no, it's not. I'm just on Zoom actually, buddy. But I'm out and about today, so hence the fact that I just dropped on here at a moment's notice. And I want to say sorry to Ingin Tersey as well. Ingin, if you see this, mate, I didn't know you were live, Ingin. Probably should have checked, but I literally just stopped and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go on and say thanks to a few people. Z's guitar account's another one that I wanted to give a special mention to. Z's guitar account's always there, supporting the channel, supporting the shows we do. Thank you very much, mate. As is Benji Mac. As is the Drew 24, who's just popped up. Love all you dudes. Really, really appreciate your support. Let's have a look here. Megatron. Neil, will you ever invite Alex Toproll to Arm Wars or his brother Schoolboy or School Bus? I don't know about School Bus, but yeah, I mean, both Alexes. But we'll talk about older Alex, who runs the business side of what those guys do. Good arm wrestler in his own right. Obviously, he likes to do his own thing. If he was interested in coming over and doing something, yeah, I'd be more than happy to work with him. Just if he lets me know that that's what he wanted to do, absolutely. I don't think he needs our assistance. I think he's killing it. He's doing a great job. And good on him. And Schoolboy's a very, very good arm wrestler, really strong. White Wolf has just come in. He's put, yeah, Evan will be pulling Iron Paul Maiden. You know what's funny? Everybody called Iron Paul Maiden for years, right? This is a true story. I used to say, Paul Maiden, mate, you should be called Iron. Your name should be Iron. And I'd do it the other way, Paul Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden. It just made all the sense in the world. And he used to say when he was young, it's too obvious. I'm going to be mighty Paul Maiden. Paul's his own guy and he wanted to be, but it just makes all the sense in the world. Iron Maiden, come on. You know? But I would always go Paul Iron Maiden because it's just Iron Maiden. It's just the one, isn't it? Phil Woody UK, what an hombre. Love Phil Woody. He's a great dude. Got the chance to briefly meet Phil when he was at the last Iron House. It's a shame. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to hang out with Phil and Jake and all these guys as much as I would have liked to, just because you're running around like a nut job. You're trying to do everything on the same day, and you're busy and you're distracted, and it's not really you, which is a shame. But hopefully I can change that at some point when things get going a little bit. We could get some more staffing and stuff like that and get the thing rolling. But I want to make sure that the thing is directed and controlled right now as much as I possibly can. The reason for that is myself and James at the moment, as I say, we're not making money from the thing. We're plowing everything back in. It's sort of the grounding the promotion, growing the promotion best we can, but ultimately to make the quality first class, so that when people, we did a lot of testing with Arm Wars, right, with the new format, to find out what the non-arm wrestling public wanted to see. And on every metric, it is definitely the kind of stuff that we're doing now, much more than the pure sport stuff. The pure sport stuff has its place. It has its place for arm wrestlers, the arm wrestling fraternity. But right now, King of the Table, East versus West is catering for that brilliantly and doing a great job. You know, if you look at the stuff that Arm Gods will be doing in the UK, I'm sure that's great for the UK and Irish lads as well. Nice to see the growth of the PAA and things like that going well. I feed as many members, and a lot of people know that I feed everybody that way to try and help bolster that and grow it. Arm Wars is a different thing. It's just a completely different concept. It's not just about the top lads in the world and the result-driven thing. It's about character expose. It's to make a watching something that a non-arm wrestler will walk in and become engaged with, will endorse, will want to come back and find out more, will buy into a character. That's really what it's about, you know. And I want to get some of the guys, even if they're not arm wrestling. I mean, a guy like Engin, you know, would be great, just to get him involved and so people can see a little bit more about Engin when he's not the stressed individual you see now. Cobra Rhodes, let's talk about Andrew for a minute. If he came over and did anything, I wouldn't necessarily need Cobra to go out there and prove himself and arm wrestle. He's done all that. You don't need to arm wrestle. You know, he's been there, he's done that. It's more about who the is Cobra Rhodes and just showing you guys who he is, and that's what we're going to do. Some of these guys, you know, that's what our plan. We plan to do, and we're going to do. Stratus Matthew, mate, thank you very much for your super chat. Really appreciate it, brother. Just popping in to say thanks to all as well, mate. Not much for chatting, but you've had content to decompress to after work for me for about 2 years. Thanks for the memories, brother. Keep on keeping on. Thank you, mate, and thanks for the feedback as well. It's good to know that you guys are enjoying what we do. As I say, a lot of the time we do stuff which is prescriptive, not scripted, but prescriptive in terms of the fix and things like that. We know who's coming on the shows. Sometimes we don't, and often when we get that sort of, we don't know who's coming on and people just dial in, you end up with really good shows. And tonight, as I say, I had about an hour to kill, and I just thought, look, I'm here, I'm doing not a great deal, I'm going to jump on, take the opportunity to say thank you to you guys, to everyone that's supporting the stuff we do. And that's what tonight's about, really. I wanted to let everybody know that we're aiming for the March 23rd to 28th. Got to remember those dates for Iron House 3. Mika already confirmed for that gig. Jody Williams already confirmed for that gig. An absolute host of the UK and Ireland lads. We got Kyle Hutchins confirmed for that. We got, who else have we got on there? For obviously the usual suspects, your Tom Hollands, your James Walls, you know, all of those guys, David Bradfords and so on will all be involved in it. But also we got some new guys from different areas of the world. Joel Cagle, I gotta get at you. Some people call him Strawberry Cough. Some people call him the Chicken Man. Gotta get him over. Z's guitar account. Thanks, mate. Much appreciate your super chat. But I really appreciate the shout out, Neil. On a completely unrelated note, I hope Maiden beats the WWE out of Evan. I mean, Paul should have every opportunity to win the match. He's on home ground. He's in Ireland. Evans traveling across the world, dropping weight. I don't know where Evans' level is. I really don't know. I don't know where Paul's level is right now. Paul's a very good arm wrestler. Sometimes Paul collapses mentally a little bit. I think he's better than he thinks he is a lot of the time. Paul always does better when he knows an arm wrestler. Paul does better when he knows a puller. He sometimes doesn't believe in himself enough when he's up there, particularly at higher level matches. With Evan, how do I see that? I see that with Paul Maiden as the favourite. Evan, I don't know where Evan's level is. I have literally no idea. Evan always used to have a stronger left arm. I believe his right arm is stronger now. Maybe there's something to do with his injuries. I mean, Evan, people don't know Evan's got a really bad back. His back's scrap. But he's grinding away, doing the best he can. Very unique individual, really unique character. A highly intelligent lad. Evan Burgoyne, funny guy, but highly intelligent lad. Dances to the beat of his own drum, that dude, I'll tell you. But yeah, he's a throwback, a good lad. Aaron Castillo, I was talking with Sharkovich at WA States, and he seemed interested in doing some super matches at things like East versus West. I mean, imagine he'd enjoy a shot at Arm Wars. Would be great to see. Yeah, Andre's great, mate. Big fan. Great puller. Rock strong. No reason why. I mean, he's one of those guys, you know. I mean, he's right there, isn't he? He's flying under the radar. And a lot of people, obviously the US guys like myself and stuff, know of Andre. But yeah, a lot of people may not know Sharkovich. They won't know him. But he's solid. He's solid. Drummer Boy, mate. There's another guy. Atlantis, IRL, and Drummer Boy. These are the guys that are always there. They're always there in the chat. And I'm thankful to you guys. And that's what tonight's about, really. Just to say thank you to all of you. Gonna have to put this phone on charge for the damn thing, guys. Been on the thing all day. 2 days from Christmas, eh? Let's have a look. So who else we got in here? Mario, hey Neil, we be part of East versus West 6. Yeah, mate. I will be there. I'll be going over there. I will be going over on Wednesday/Thursday. Looking forward to it. There's some mega matches on there as well. Good to see Jerry and Mike again. Let's have a look. Dan Liu, character narrative is huge in my opinion. Mate, it's the foundation of things. For growth, it's the foundation of things. One of the things I was gonna say, guys, if anyone who's in the chat now isn't subscribed to Arm Wars, isn't liked and followed on the Facebook of Arm Wars, please get over there. If you're not subscribed here, give us a sub while you're here, guys. If you could, it really helps the channel. We need that growth. If you are seeing this, please just do it now. Just hit that like, hit that sub. And if you could get over and sub to Arm Wars, honestly, it helps us out massively. We're trying to drive things forward for the sport. We're trying to take the sport to a different level. We're trying to make it so that people who are not necessarily the purest arm wrestling fan have got something to tune into that's going to engage them, that's going to allow them to identify with a lot of the pullers. And that's what our thing is about. Let's have a look. Who we've got? Guy Allen, mate, thank you very much for checking us out tonight. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, Neil, and all in the chat. Mate, thank you. Stacks, good to see you. Another dude that's always there. Stacks, great to see you, mate. Oh, Sarah Latona's in the chat. Sarah, yeah. I was just saying earlier, I'm going to try and get on with your fella and Filthy Power soon. We'll get a show lined up. Try and find a time that works for us both and get on there. Sarah's everywhere. Let's have a look. And Merry Christmas to you guys over there as well. Let's have a look. Archdog, mate, thank you. Appreciate it, buddy. I think I'm relatively caught up on everything. So yeah, the big underpinners today. Oh, one other thing as well. Engin got hold of me the other day in typical Engin fashion, not being sort of thought through. He's like way ahead of himself in terms of thinking the steps through. And he said, could we do an East versus West qualifier for the UK and Ireland? Yeah, we can do that. And what we're going to do is we're going to do it a little bit different. We are going to do it a little bit different. No, I mean, I said, what do you want from this, Engin? He said, I want it to be open to everyone, truly open to everyone. Well, the best way I see of doing that here in the UK and Ireland, I'm going to experiment with it a little bit, is people are always talking about giving back and all that stuff. Well, let's see the fibre of the fabric. Here we go. What I'm going to say is we're not going to do a big show and to generate money or anything like that. What we're going to do is throw this to the UK clubs themselves, okay? So we're going to do to the UK clubs, to all of you, everyone. If you're a registered, recognised UK club, so with the BAF, with the PAA, if you're a registered UK club, a recognised UK club, we are going to give you the opportunity to hold your own show at your own club for all your members. That way, none of your members, none of the UK pullers need to travel anywhere. They're just coming to the club. But you set up a structured system of matches to ascertain who is the best guys. Do it your way and ascertain who are the best guys in those weight classes, the guys most deserving to be put forward and representing your club, your best in each of the weight classes. And then send those to us. So you organize your own event there, all the clubs. We'll do this on the fix as well so people understand as well. Once you've got that, once we've got, and do it on your time scale in the next month or so, once you've ascertained who the very best guys in your club are, they will then progress to the region. And we'll get something in place, the most viable point in the region. And there'd be a small amount of money charged for the guys to enter, which is generated from the clubs. But that will go to finance whoever comes through to the next round to allow them to travel to the UK qualifier. And we'll only take a few through there, maybe the top sort of 2 from each region. And then at that point, we're going to film the guys. We're going to let them, because how I'm going to do this, I'm going to make it so that those guys also get a shot in Arm Wars. So we'll see. We'll make it like a dual header. Now, the one thing I would say that Engin messaged me today about is that you've got to, if you attended the IFA Worlds, you would need to fill in one of the WAF or WAF release forms in order to allow you to qualify for the Istanbul final eliminator. That is very important for you guys to know if your aspiration is to get to that final event. If you attended the IFA, it's going to be difficult for you guys unless you are prepared to sign that WAF form. As I say, frustrating, and just to be very clear, I got nothing to do with the sort of auspices and regulation of this event whatsoever. This is something that I've been asked to do, and I said I would assist in doing that. I'm not going to lie, my focus remains on Arm Wars, and I will assist the other promotions wherever I can. But I'm not setting the weight classes or any of the systems for the East versus West qualifier at all. What I want to do is make that if the ultimate aspiration of Engin is to allow it to be open to an opportunity for as many people as possible, then putting it through the clubs and allowing the clubs to reap the benefits of any monies that come in is how I would do it. I'm not interested in putting something on some large scale event that's going to be utilised to generate profit and return from that. It's not what we're doing in this situation. Let's have a look. Sarah Latona, awesome. My dream is to be on Arm Wars or East versus West, maybe in a few years. Hey, why not? Why not? Keep going at it, Sarah. You're in the right environment. Who knows how far you can go? It's good to see the ladies' sport growing. There's so many top class female athletes that don't get. I mean, you know, the other day we saw Carolina and Vicky going at it on Craig Vikkeland's channel. What a match! That was ace. both those ladies, Arm Wars veterans, both those girls have cut the teeth in the Arm Wars Super Series, Caroline and the Flame, and Vicky. Also, we had Vicky Carlson came over to WAL as well. One of my favourite pullers of all time in the ladies division. Gabriela Vasconcelos, the Iron Angel. She's in East versus West. Great to see Gabs again. Love Gabby. What a wonderful girl that is. Vasconcelos. I love me some Gabby Vas. She's ace. And also, Gabriela, congratulations on your wedding, on getting married to your dude, the other great lad. And congratulations to you both on your wedding. Tommy Holland getting engaged, you getting married. It's all going off. It's the season of love. Let's have a look who we got here. Super cool news when I heard this. Love what Engin is building from Guy Allen. Yeah, he's obsessive compulsive, mate, and he's trying his very best. He's driving it forward. As I say, continued growth is what we're looking at. How long have I been on here now? About an hour and a half, I think. I believe I've been on for an hour and a half. It's time has flown. If you guys are bored as well, tell me and I'll bugger off. Or if anybody else is going live and has like a set live show, please tell me and I'll bugger off, because this is not. I just jumped on, and I feel bad if somebody's got like a set time and I'm stamping on it. I don't want to do that. Don't want to jump on anybody's time. The fix obviously would have been on Christmas Day, so we ain't going to be doing that. But we will go out with something maybe the day after, a couple of days after. If you haven't seen it yet, guys, 12 rounds of Christmas from Arm Wars. Check that out. Go over and check it out. The 12 rounds of Christmas, defining rounds from the Arm Wars Super Series in our first year since the promotion returned with the new format. God, I can't wait to kick the lid off what we're doing in 2023. Holy shit. Oh, mate. If you're not a member of the Arm Wars channel, yeah, you want to be for 2023. That's all I'm going to say. So much stuff coming. So some of the stuff we're busting out of the archive. Oh, mate. You can, honestly, you're going to pop. So we're busting out some stuff. Some of the behind the scenes stuff. Oh, my word. There's some fantastic stuff. There is some fantastic stuff. It's funny, I was on the phone the other day to Evan Burgoyne, and I was telling him about one little scenario. Because a lot of the funny thing is, I'm mic'd up because we're capturing the audio. So the old events, I mean, some of the stories I could tell you. The old events when we got athletes mic'd up. I mean, we had like live audio of Yoshi Kanai taking a piss, and and it must have been a good piss because you could hear him all the time going, oh, and you can then a bit of piss, and then oh. So just quality stuff, the very best of stuff. It's like when we used to have Cat's Arsehole on the fix every week. It's just quality, irreplaceable stuff. But joking aside, the lads are mic'd up, so we get a lot of the conversational stuff, and it's never put into the film. It's never put into things. But what it does do is it explodes some myths. So when you get people saying, oh, this happened to the recollection, what they need to remember is we know what happened because I've got all the audio. Because they're all mic'd up so you can hear what's been said. And it is priceless. And it explodes some legend. We got some good stuff, let me tell you now. Because I checked back on some, I was like, surely that's what happened. And when you check back and you're like, oh my God, fantastic. There is some good stuff. And some of the footage, I mean, we've got 5 cameras running. So you see a match from certain angles, and it's cut and edited in a certain way. James is a master of that. But previously, we'd worked with various production companies like Raising the Roof and all the guys we worked with in the past. Len Davis, who recently passed away. So sad to hear of Len's passing. One of the original editors of Arm Wars, and back in the days at the Trafford Centre, Echo Arena, places like that. Len passed away, but some of the original footage we've got from the top of the MGM Grand. Oh my God, amazing stuff. Absolute quality stuff. We got it all. We got hours and hours and hours. And as I say, we've got unseen Arm Wars cards, whole cards, featuring stars of the game. We got tons of it. And it's going to be coming out of the locker. That's all I'm going to say. Not to mention the new stuff that we've got coming out and a few new concepts. Arm Wars are innovative. We're an innovator. We are not a follower. And once again, we're going to lead the way. And my God, we got some stuff coming. It's coming. Let's have a look. Neil, if you're hosting another public event in 2023, count on me being there. Mate, we will definitely be doing that. I'd love you to be there, Phil. We've also got some stuff that's going to be live and behind closed doors. So it's live, but not live. So it's going to be behind closed doors, nobody in there, but live from the Iron House, if you will. We're going to have a couple of them as well. But to our Legends members and our higher level members, there'll be some really ridiculous opportunities to get involved in that and to see what is behind the scenes on that. So that's going to be interesting. Swedish Arm Wrestling Television, Krieger Vikkeland, how are you doing, dude? If you're not subbed to Swedish Arm Wrestling Television, get over there because I love some Krieger Vikkeland. What a top dude. Merry Christmas, Neil. Hope you have a great time with you and your family and your loved ones. Hope to work with Arm Wars crew in the future, mate. You will definitely be doing that. Benji Mack, yeah, saying RIP to Len Davis. Yeah, really sad. Len had moved out to LA. He went out to LA to pursue his dream. Cut ties with us at that point, and then I haven't seen Len for a couple of years. Probably saw him about 5-6 years ago. He'd been struggling with ill health for a while, and then I read the other day on the social media that he passed. And yeah, massive shame. Loved Len. He's a good dude, really good dude, and some amazing memories with Len. Yeah, he was involved in some amazing events, really amazing events. He was right there up close and personal. And the memories you get from this stuff, it's remarkable, you know. That's where the real gold is. That's where the gems are. And we want to bring that to you guys through the channel. We're going to do more of that. We're going to do more of that sort of in-depth stuff. So you get to see, you get to feel the nature of what is going on in the Iron Houses and so on. So I'm probably going to stop on here for about another 10 minutes or so, and then I'll jump off. But again, the main message that I want to give to everybody tonight was to you guys, to all of you. I mean, Mike McIntyre just dropped in there. Thank you, Mike, from Vancouver Island, Canada. Love Canada. One of my favorite countries in the world. Best fishing in the world. Love it. Absolutely love it over there. Mate, thanks for checking it out. We wanted to say to all you guys, thank you so much for just coming on here, checking out the shows, checking out the channel, the massive support you've given this year to not only Arm Wars, but here on the Supernatural Strength channel, to all the channels that are banging away for the sport. Thank you to all of you for getting so involved and for being so passionate about the sport of arm wrestling, to helping it grow, to helping it get to a different place. So many people have been so pivotally involved with that growth, and you guys are without question amongst them. All of you guys that are regularly on these shows and on the chats, thank you. Let's have a look. Cinematography of Arm Wars is absolutely amazing, by far the best when it comes to arm wrestling. Just awesome. Thank you, Sarah. James is an absolute perfectionist. I've got a vision for the thing. I shared it with him, and it was right up his street. James is a brilliant director. He really is. And he's got his own way of putting things together. He's looking to emote through the films, and he does a good job of that. And he's obviously trying to cram an enormous amount into a short scenario. What I would say is that we've got more scope to do more with that coming up shortly, and that's going to be very evident. Can't give too much away, but it definitely is. Let's have a look. Yeah, Krieger Vikkeland. When's the next stuff going down in Sweden, Krieger? When are we seeing some stuff out of there? Because it's going to be a hell of a start to 2023. Events all over the place. I did read the other day that I think Chance and Ryan are pulling on like the same night as the King of the Table. I think they're gone the last weekend of Feb, and I'm pretty sure that that is when King of the Table is going to take place. So I may be over in Dubai at the King of the Table. Don't know yet. Haven't had confirmation of that, but that was the plan. I know they'd contacted me about that previously, so we'll have to see what's happening. Drew24, Neil is very compassionate was to take a break from cracking that whip on James back while you chat us up. Please allow him some more yard time, mate. I don't need to crack the whip on that, lad. I really don't. He's bought into it. It really is. Myself and James are balls out on this thing. We're so many times we find ourselves on the phone at silly o'clock at night, bouncing ideas around, trying to think of concepts, do things differently. If we had more funding, we could do more. We're trying our best. I am the funding of Arm Wars at the moment. I fund that myself. We got a couple of bits and bobs on sponsors. I would love to work. I want to work with companies that are within the sport of arm wrestling as much as I can. One company that I'd be really interested to partner up with for some of the stuff we do would be Lion Straps, because I rate Lion Straps pretty highly. Lion Straps, if you're watching, check your PMs. Give us a call. Like to work with Lion Straps. Got some great stuff. We got an opportunity on an Arm War strap, which would be interesting to talk to you about. Give me a call. Let's have a look. I think I'm caught up, guys. I do believe I'm caught up. Hope to Christ I didn't miss anybody. If I did, I am a penis. I didn't mean to do that. Did not mean to miss anybody's chat. I'll just have another scan back. Make sure that I haven't done. If I have, I really do apologise. The Schmo, mate. Don't know whether to mention you tonight, mate. Thank you very much also for being so supportive of the channel, being in here regularly. All you guys, cannot thank you enough for the support of this channel and all the others that you're always on, you're always backing in. Really, really appreciate what you do for the sport. And it's positive times, it's great times for arm wrestling right now. Arm wrestling's in a weird place, in a unique place. Dungeon Master Arm Wrestling, Tim, mate, how are you doing? Merry Christmas to Neil, team and families. What a great year for arm wrestling, and looking forward to more in 23. Mate, thank you very much. And yeah, thank you. And you're right, it's a ridiculous time. It's cracking on at the moment. Arm wrestling's in a good place. And I say, we're not slowing down at Arm Wars, we are speeding up. And 2023, we're going to make moves that are unique, different. We're going to do some different things, different concepts, moving and a shaking, wheeling and a mother fluffing dealing. And yeah, I'm excited to show you guys what we got for you. I really am. Tio, thank you, mate. Thank you very much. Guys, I'm probably boring the piss out of you all, so I might jump off here. Yeah, thanks, all of you. Really appreciate it. I want to say again, all the very best to you and your families. I hope you have a cracking Christmas and New Year. I really do. Thank you so much for your time, for your support. We won't be on Sunday night, obviously on Christmas Day. That's ordinarily our fixed day. Stephen O'Keefe just did a last-minute flying super chat. Great work this year, Neil. Any thoughts on Monster Michael Todd versus Brezink at 105? Mate, I love that match. That's the kind of match I would love to do in Arm Wars, to expose it, to show the character set and the history and all of those things. I can't say too much. The kind of thing we want to do and the kind of thing we will look to do in 2023. But yeah, I think that's a great match. Michael's super awkward. John Brezink, the best of all time. John finds a way. For me, John would start as favourite because of that hand and wrist. Michael's very hard to kill. Very, very hard to kill. And Mike would die to win that match. He will really try very, very hard. Great match. Two great arm wrestlers, two great lads. And hopefully it can be as entertaining as advertised. I'd like to see that over a good duration. I think the longer the thing goes, to be fair, I bet Michael Todd would. I bet Michael Todd thinks that over a long duration that he is favourite. I certainly see him in the back half of the match being the more endurance-based arm wrestler. John is so complete it's ridiculous. John's got incredible ability to control the match in so many areas, and he can transition so smoothly, so well. I wish you guys, for those new arm wrestlers, I wish you'd been around in the sort of late 80s, early 90s when John was what I would describe as his best years. People now talk about John and the power and all of that, all of those things. But John, when he was at his peak, it was the fluidity. It wasn't just the power. It wasn't just strength sport. It was art. It was artistic arm wrestling, and the manner in which the thing that first appealed to me was that. I've come from a fight sport background. I was always a big fan of boxing. And when I say boxing, I mean boxing. Actually, the movement, the strategy, the art of throwing the well-timed shot, the diversity of the opportunity that it presents. And arm wrestling has a lot of crossover for that. All combat sports, to be fair, do. Arm wrestling is no exception. It's physical chess. And to be perfectly honest, watching John in his early days, watching him when he was an 85 kilo, 90 kilo arm wrestler, the fluidity, the transitional fluidity that he regularly displayed was ridiculous. That was when John was at his best. That was when John was fascinating to watch. That was when I really loved watching John the most. The early Yukons, where he would transition from position to position with incredible grace and fluidity, powerful, explosive movement done. The speed was belied by the fact that the movement was so crisp. He'd transition so effortlessly. Things that aren't easy, he'd make them look easy because the timing was so on point, you know. And that's the thing that, if you can focus, for all you guys that are looking to train and to improve your own arm wrestling, look for fluidity of transition, not just by force, not by forcing the movement, but by timing the opportunity. There's a path to follow. There's breadcrumbs to follow in this thing. Again, this is the kind of thing I wouldn't mind doing some stuff in a little bit more depth. If I do a members thing in the new year here on the Supernatural Strength channel, that's what it's going to be about. It's going to be about more looking at the opportunity within an arm wrestling match to take advantage of that opportunity, to spot it, to time it, and to facilitate ease of transition, to utilize your strength with the least possible effort, efficiency. That's what you need to try to granularize, to get it down to that granular level where you can see how efficient you can become. You may be strong enough right now. You know, you imagine a guy like Larry Wheels, like Brandon Allen, a guy who's got strength pedigree for days. You know, a lot of the strongmen that I work with, a lot of that, you know, someone that's come from that foundation strength. They've got the strength. What they don't have is the fluidity, and they don't have the knowledge and fluidity as a combination. If those things can be pieced together, there is an enormous amount of progression just within that. Forget the sort of, you know, trying to supplement that with different forms of training, with doing 1,000 wrist curls, with training your rise, training your cup, training your supination, training your pronate, all those things. There's only so many hours in a day that you can literally, unless you're someone like Ryan Bowen and you are a professional full-time arm wrestler. Don't know about you guys, but I'm working my ass off through the day, and then you come home and usually work your ass off through the night. You know what I mean? But my missus will tell you. But back in the day when I was pursuing the sport, I would spend as much time as I could, as I know a lot of you guys will be doing, out in your gyms, out in your garage, out with your boys down the club training, to try and pursue that difference maker. The more efficient you guys can become in understanding that it's not necessarily putting layer upon layer of top end strength. It can be just refinement. Most of your gains potential will come from refinement. Try to break down the move from its starting point to its end point, and to think how you can make that move as fluid as possible. So almost break it down into granular level from the whole spectrum, the arc of the motion, and break it down into a granular level till you can make that as fluid as possible. So that all of that spectrum, you can see the out point, you can see the in point, you can see the application of the pronator, you can see the application of the rise and the cut in unison with those things. Once you manage to do that, you will go to a different level. You'll transcend where you are now. And at the same level of physical attribute that you have, you'll level up. And I mean level up. You will go to a different place. And that is arm wrestling. That's not strength sport, that's arm wrestling. That's what it's about. That's a real protagonist of the sport. And that's where my personal successes in the game came from. That's why I say to people when they say, oh, would you come back in? I say, if I was going to get back into that, it would need commitment to time on the table so that you feel in the movement, you flow in the movement. It becomes second nature, like somebody throws you an orange and you don't think you've caught the goddamn orange. You never thought about catching the orange. You just suddenly have got the orange in your hand because it's a reaction. It's something you do. You need your arm wrestling to be not something that you're having to force. There can't be thought. There isn't time for thought. It's got to be feeling. You've got to feel that match. The more time you can find feeling the match, the more time you can invest into understanding the disparate elements of the movement, that's where you will find the success. That's where you're going to level up. And that's the kind of stuff that I would like to put more time into to showing people, to breaking it down for you guys. Old Broken Guy, love him. What an hombre. Mate, Old Broken Guy, I salute you, mate. I hope you have a cracking Christmas. Top bloke. Mega supporter of the channel. Always see you in there commenting, positive as hell. Thank you, mate. Have a mega Christmas. All the best to you and your family. What an hombre. Let's have a look. Guys, if I have just mouthed off for a few minutes and missed anybody's chat, I apologize big time. I wasn't reading the comments there. I need to go back and look. Don't want to miss anybody's super chats. Don't want to miss anybody's stuff. But I'm conscious I've been talking at you for ages and I should shut the frig up and get off and let you guys get on with your actual lives. Phil Woody UK, thank you for your super chat, mate. He's just coming in. Thanks again, Neil. 2022 rock. Didn't it just, Phil? Amazing. Arm Wars for life. Mate, thank you so much for your support of the game. We are going to go and try and bust it to the roof next year, where I'm throwing every frigging spare dime I've got into that thing. Any money that this channel made, it's all gone burn. Myself and James are looking at me. He's like, oh, how long can we keep this rolling? We're throwing every frigging thing we've got into trying to make that thing fly and to put on better stuff for you. White Wolf, thank you so much for your super chat, mates. But Neil, what are you talking about is the motion. You don't do it, it does you. That is next level stuff right there. You understand this? I don't understand a lot, mate, but one thing I can tell you that I really understand is the sport of iron arms. There is no doubt. I know that like the back of my fucking hand. And I can tell you, that's the kind of stuff I want to break down. A lot of the time, people say to me, how do you match make with the efficiency and the level of success that you do? That's how. If you can see it, you can see it. So the other day when I was talking to Engin about the match with Brzezinski and Petrenko, and he was saying, oh, Neil, you're crazy. How can you think John's going to beat Oleg? I can see it. I can see it. My success rate in calling matches and feeling the matches is high because a lot of the time I can already envisage what's happening. It's just experience. It's being in there. And the way that I worked, it wasn't strength-based. I was never going to be the strongest guy in the room. Boxer versus puncher, throw the feints, time the shot. Power beats speed. No, it doesn't. Precision, timing, speed. All these people think it's just, the power is what's going to beat the speed. It's going to take away. You can be just too strong. You've got to be a fucking lot too strong. If your speed is right there, if you're and by speed, I'm not talking about to the pad. I'm talking about speed of transition, speed, finding your position, finding your sweet spot. How many guys out there feel like if I can just get to this spot, I can beat 90% of guys? But how quick can you find it? How quick can you find it? That's what you want to think about. What's preventing you from finding your position. You view it like that, and then does power beat speed? Or you're just too strong? Is it that the guy is that much stronger than you? Or is it that that guy is finding his position, her position, better, more efficiently than you are? It may not be, but think about that more. Think about whether it's really power that you're lacking. Think about that. Is it power? Is it speed? Is it timing? Precision beats power. That's the fact. Precision beats power. Timing beats speed. Precision and timing are critical to success in strength sports, arm wrestling, combat sports. Precision and timing. Think about that. Break down your own arm wrestling at home. Look at it. Look at what you do. Maybe record it, video it in slow-mo. Watch your movement. Are you that efficient? Are you not? If you're not, why are you not? Start to break that down. Look at how your body is shaped. Look at the best arm wrestlers in the world that are the most proficient pullers, who have a similar physical characteristic to yourself. If they are a similar height, a similar movement, a similar weight, a similar physical build, length of arm, size of hand, they pull in a similar way. Look for how you might be able to emulate their movement patterns. Take bits from everywhere and throw it into what you do. It's almost like the teachings of Bruce Lee, isn't it? You know, be like water. Well, yeah, do. Adapt. Look at where you can. He was absolutely correct. I endorse that 110%. There's no strict form. Don't think, oh, because John Brasink pulls this way, because Devin Larratt pulls this way, because, you know, Jerry Caderet pulls this way, then I must do that. Not necessarily. Not necessarily at all. Look for your abilities. If you're the strong guy, but you don't have speed, you don't have fluidity of movement, ask yourself questions that are more fundamental to your core self. For example, can you dance? I know it sounds stupid, seriously, can you dance? Have you got really good natural rhythm and timing? If that comes easy to you, you're probably going to be technically quite proficient in terms of from a movement perspective. On the other hand, if you're quite a wooden person, if you're not someone who moves well, but you are rock strong, then look to utilize that as your foundation. You know, that for every force, there is an equal and opposite force, but the efficiency, the precision, and the timing of making that what you are at your very essence work for you is going to be where you're going to find the greatest success. Understand yourself. Know yourself. If you know yourself, you can start to build. If you're never honest with yourself, it's going to be very difficult for you to do that effectively. I'm probably boring the piss out of you, but I could talk about that to people all day. Megatron, what are you talking about, Neil? I'm going to make sure you see this super chat. Keep Arm Wars going. It's awesome matches now. Let's make that Megatron shirt, mate. We can do that, mate. We'll come up with something on that one. Send me a PM. What do we got here? Clark's 93, another dude. World's strongest man, another dude. Devon's forearm. Holy shit, they're all coming in now. Guys, I said earlier on, I don't know whether you're in the chat, but I said earlier on, thank you an enormous amount to you guys that support the channel so much. Jason Merlo, Top Rod is in the mother. There's a puller. Jason Merlo, what an arm wrestler. I've got to get out and fish with that guy as well. Love Jason Merlo. He's as strong as fuck. Underrated. In Jason, when are you going to do a B.A. Baracus, drug yourself up and get your ass to Arm Wars? Stop playing games, son. Get over here. Let people know who you are, for God's sake. Jason Miller's a great arm wrestler. Jamie Sheldon, one of the dudes in the game. Jamie Sheldon, love him. Go back a long way with Justin Bishop's in here. Justin Bishop, we need Justin, when I get off here, if you're available for a quick chat, let me know. Seriously, let me know, mate. Let me know. And I will give you a call as soon as I get off this thing. So many guys. Jamie Sheldon was talking to me about one of the guys. He's got exciting puller over there who I love. All in Mosai. What a great puller that is. Love to get him up. How many of you guys know about that? You know, all like mega puller. Love to get him over here. Show you that kid. He's awesome. White Wolf, completely understand what you're saying, Neil. If anyone wants to get better at arm wrestling, learn, is that Tu Sao or Tu Shao? I don't know how you actually pronounce that, mate, but pushing hands, foundation of Tachi. You never lose contact with your opponent. I can understand what you're meaning, mate. All about the movement, the fluidity. And that is all combat sports have a degree of that in there. Clocks 93 saying Merlo versus the Steel Giraffe. Ambush Nana Star and Merlo will be great. Jason, I mean every word of it, mate. You're a beast. Great arm wrestler. Super underrated. One of those guys that a lot of people don't know about. And Merlo is iron. Very, very good arm wrestler. Bloody good fisherman, too. Great fisherman. I stole Neil's nickname. Jamie Sheldon says, I stole Neil's nickname. I owe him 500 grand. Mate, he did steal my nickname, but not a problem, mate. Nobody I'd rather see take that name forward than yourself. Great dude. Absolutely love me some Jamie Sheldon. So it's Tway Show, I think. Is that right? Tway Show. Just give us a thumbs up, White Wolf, if that's I've learned something there. Tway Show. I need to check that out. I'll have a look at that, mate. That's fascinating. Let me know, guys, if any of you are genuinely interested in that stuff. Maybe I'll put a membership together on the Supernatural Strength channel, and I'll try and do something where I don't know. I'll go into the freak shop and we'll do something, you know, where I can share some of this stuff with you, because I can answer your questions more fluidly on a live like this if I'm there at a table and I can go through some of this stuff and demonstrate with you what I'm talking about. And it's got to be live interaction and things like that. It's got to be interactive. We can record it, of course, but it helps you to understand what I'm talking about from the demonstrative perspective, if I can show you that kind of thing. So many times I was on the table with Brian Shaw, and Brian was sort of fascinated with that when he was at the Strongman event. He probably thought, who that? Yeah, what's going on here? Eddie, Iron Baby, so many guys, you know, that have shown little bits of things like this, who've got astronomical potential for the sport, whether or not they want to exact that, whether or not they want to get involved in the sport, the potential is there. Now, if you take guys with those kind of physical attributes that were interested in the sport, and believe me, they're out there, they are out there. You could get some real superstars coming through this thing. There's so many great arm wrestlers, potential arm wrestlers. The more people that we can, what's the right word? The more people that we can really illustrate the nuance of the sport, because arm wrestling is one of those things that when you look at it, when somebody looks at arm wrestling, particularly like, you know, the archetypal arm wrestler, they see the big powerhouse puller, they see in their mind, oh, okay, I get it. I see this sport. I know what this sport's about. And sure, some of what they see is accurate reflection, but it's like, you know, it's like the thing that sunk the Titanic, you know, 95% of it's under the surface. You don't see it. So many guys have been in this game for a few years, and only then they'll be like, oh shit, yeah, there were so many more layers to this thing that I didn't see, that I didn't understand, that I didn't know. You'll find you're 20 years into this thing, and if you really embrace the concept, you'll always be finding the new thing out. One of the things that I love most about the game is so easy for new pullers who do things a certain way to show you something that they do that you didn't, and you can join those dots, you can follow those breadcrumbs and piece your arm wrestling together. The guys that do that the best, Svetlana Shevsky, as I mentioned to you earlier on, Lorenzo Villar, master arm wrestler from Spain, underappreciated, underrated arm wrestler. So many guys that have been out there and just killing it that people don't know about now. Guys from the past who were ridiculous. Sharon Remez, oh my living God. I mean, Sharon Remez in his day, wow, iron wrist, Mr. Forearm, Sharon Remez. What a beast. What a wrist that kid had. What a frigging monster. You know, they're out there. Some guys are just made for this thing. And the more of those that we can bring into the game, find new superstars, find new arm wrestlers. It's great to get new guys in there, you know. And the friggin' hell needs me back arm wrestling when you got all this new young talent coming in. Arm wrestling analysis. Hi, Neil. In your opinion, what do you think are the biggest differences between Arm Wars and an event like East versus West? They're entirely different in every respect, mate. In East versus West, the idea and the core behind East versus West is taking the very, very best elite arm wrestlers currently in the game and matching them off against each other on a very purist, results-driven format. So the whole thing is directed towards the purist arm wrestler, guys like me, guys that'll roll up and, you know, and a lot of you guys who are the hardcore fan, the guy that if it says arm wrestling on the tin, you're in. You know what I mean? Sure, we love East versus West, and it has a massively important part to play. When I sort of first came up and started the super match format, I took so much abuse from within arm wrestling. Geneva Worlds '92, I did a little seminar where I spoke to people, and I'd come from fight sports background. I said, look, the biggest problem with arm wrestling generally is the main draw format, and the fact that when you're here at the Worlds, you'll go up and, you know, it'll be number 2144 from England now to the stage, and you're like, 2144. Yeah, I trained all year. My name's Neil. Is it any harder to say Neil from England? And so we lobby for that, and suddenly then they're okay to start talking and they'd utilize your name. Prior to that, you were a number, so it was very formal and there was no connection, you know. And everybody knows that in sports, the guy that or the girl that draw in the fans, or the person that resonates with the viewer. Even if you're not into that sport, you just see a character trait or something that transcends the sport and hits you, you know, that there's an emotional connection there for whatever reason. And that's what we wanted to do with super matches, or I wanted to do with super matches. I wanted to change the game in that respect, and we started with Arm Wars. You know, 1990, 91, started with Iron Arm first with the super match format. I sort of extolled the virtues of this thing, telling everybody what a difference it made. And people were like, "Oh, you come from a different sport. Arm wrestling's different. This is how we do things." And there was a lot of negativity around it. It's great. Who knew? You know, we cast the thing forward 30 years. Here we are. You know, Arm Wars started to gain traction, and suddenly everybody's doing super matches. Suddenly everybody's on board. Here we are. You know, that started way back in the early 90s when I was going around the world preaching the gospel about why super matches were the way forward. Some people believed in it, some people didn't. You know, one of the guys that did believe in it was Igor Mazarenko and Asan. They saw what we were doing and said, "Oh, you know, we love super matches. Super matches is a good way." They went forward with the PAL and the Vendetta style. Great. You know, other people have done the same. When we first got into the WAL, I had the big thing again. I was going over there telling everybody super matches are the way. And other people like Travis, for example, were on a different page. And it's not that I dislike tournaments. There is a place for tournaments. I love tournament arm wrestling. I'm a huge fan of tournament arm wrestling. My biggest accolades were in tournament arm wrestling. I'm not anti-tournament arm wrestling, but East versus West has taken it at the elite level, and it's 100% focused on the elite level, and not so much on the timing that the time that the arm wrestler gets in the limelight. Not so much on the expose of the character, of showing who the guy is, who the girl is that are at the table, of giving the person at home, the non-arm wrestling viewer. And believe me now, or you can say, oh, arm wrestling is growing, but the growth of arm wrestling is microscopic. It's embryonic at this stage. We need to explode that thing. We need that to really blow up. And in order to do that, you need to have people that are going to carry the sport forward. Devon Larratt's transition into other areas has allowed him to open people's eyes to arm wrestling. And a lot of guys will have come from seeing that, from seeing the Super Series on TV and back in the day, the WL on TV back in the day. Those are the things that have, you know, when everybody's seen over the top, you buy into the character first, sport second. Why Arm Wars is different to East versus West is because the match is super important, but the match is not governed by the same characteristic. The match is governed by not necessarily the guys being the absolute pinnacle of the sport, but rather being an engaging character or characters in a great match. So guys who will match up well and will make a really entertaining match where there's a genuine story to it that they can both tell. So in other words, you can sit guys down who are engaging characters. They look a certain way, sound a certain way, extol a certain set of character virtues, and then really showing people that. I want to show more of that. So I would have 10%, 15% arm wrestling, 90, 85% characters, and showing the story, showing the build-up, that to draw people in. And that is where Arm Wars is different. Sure, we've got the elite lads there as well. I mean, somebody said the other day, oh, you don't use top guys. We do. I would have to disagree. We got, and in 2023, more evidence of that coming. But, you know, guys, anybody who can say that Sasha Andreev, our light heavyweight champion, is not representative of the very best in the world in his weight class, I'd have to disagree. I think he very much is. I think Bozhidar Simonov is right there. I think Mendegas Terasatis is representative of the best in the world in his weight class. These guys are right there. I think Alex Kadecha is exceptional. I think Sandris, the MF chef, Sheris, is right in there. You know, and the guys that have cut their teeth in the Super Series and we've taken forward some of the very best in the world. But there are others who, yeah, you're going to say they're not the very best in the world. They're not representative of the guy that is the elite of the elite, but they're so entertaining. And those arm wrestlers also have an equal standing, at least, with an Arm Wars. Because what they do for you, for all of us, for the sport of arm wrestling, is help carry this sport forward. Make no mistake about it, they are carrying this sport forward. The concept of Arm Wars is to allow these guys to develop their brand and retain ownership and control of their brand. We're not looking to own your brand. We're not looking to control your brand. We're looking to give you a platform to build your brand. And the reason we want to do that is because the more of you guys that are successful in building your brand and getting to that higher echelon of notoriety, getting so that you're the guy, you're the girl that East versus West call up and say, hey, you know what? We want you on this card because we know you're going to bring eyeballs to it. We know people want to watch you arm wrestle. King of the Table, same. Hey, we want you because we know you're going to move that dial. Arm Wars is going to facilitate that for you. It's going to give you that opportunity. Your end of the bargain, you've got to be able to arm wrestle your ass off, and you've got to be able to come in there and go out on your shield. Leave nothing. Literally give it every frigging fiber of your being. You do that, and we're going to make a film, and we're going to put that match together. I don't know whether you're going to win or lose, and honestly, I don't give a shit. Everybody wins and loses arm wrestling matches. What I'm looking for from the guys that come and pull in Arm Wars is purely and simply to go balls out, to give it your absolute best. And if you do that, it'll be a unique experience for you. And the door is open to so many guys to come and do something special, do something unique, and create a lasting signature of your career. And that there's something in that as well, you know, there's something in that. There's something special about that. Guys, I've been on here for a long time, and before anything else really jumps in, I really gotta get off now, and I've got a bit of work to do. We're still working on the Iron House 3 concept. If I've missed anybody's chats there, I'm so sorry. I'm going to fire back and make sure I have not missed any super chats or anything. I don't think I have. Thank you, guys. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in, for checking us out. I hope you're all well. I'm going to get off here now. Have a tremendous Christmas. Have a tremendous New Year. I'll be seeing you in between Christmas and New Year. Please get over, check out the 12 rounds of Christmas. We'll be doing something every day. They'll be going out every day to keep you guys entertained. Keep supporting Arm Wrestling, guys, and thank you again. If you're not subscribed here on the Supernatural Strength channel, you know what? I'd love to get this thing over 18,000 subs over the Christmas period. Probably impossible, but because we're about 400 away from that, but I would love it. If you're not subscribed, please give us a sub, give us a like, share the word. Have a cracking Christmas, guys. We'll see you soon.